All right. What's going on? This is Corner Blue, and I am my man Rodney Blu, also known as Blue from the Grove. On today's show, we will be talking about the Cowboys tight end situation. Martellus Bennett. What is the deal with this guy? Let's talk about it. All right, Martellus Bennett. Outstanding prospect. The Cowboys drafted this guy high in the draft to be their backup tight end to Jason Witten. Okay, so be it. I feel like it was a wasted pick. Not because this guy isn't outstanding. Not because he couldn't be a game breaker one day. But just because I didn't think we needed him. I felt like that pick could have been used somewhere else. Maybe with a wide receiver or an offensive lineman or safety or something. I feel like we have the tight end we need in Jason Witten. And we also have the backup we need in Tony Curtis. Tony Curtis is an outstanding football player. And if he wasn't a member of the Dallas Cowboys the past couple of seasons, there are games that we would not have won. This kid, Tony Curtis, does everything you ask him to do. Catch the football every time you throw it to him. You put him on the onside kick team, guess what he does? He go gets the onside kick. This guy does it all. And I don't think he's getting his props. So, if Martellus Bennett doesn't play a significant amount of downs this year, if he doesn't have a significant impact on offense, they're going to consider it a bust, or at least a step backwards, when I feel like we should have never got him anyway. Now, I like Martellus Bennett, and when he catches the football, man, he looks a lot like Antonio Gates, and so I can see, wanting to go out and get somebody like that, because Antonio Gates is a very, very good tight end. Antonio Gates is the type of tight end that when he catches the ball, that's not the end of the play. That guy's going to run, and he's going to try to score. And I can see Martellus Bennett in that same mode. However, I just don't think we should have got him. I mean, you're riding him, you want all this out of him. And we got Tony Curtis over there that does an outstanding job. So, if Tony Curtis continues to do an outstanding job, does that mean it was a bust getting Martellus Bennett? So I don't think you put a target on somebody's back like that. I'm telling you, Tony Curtis is an outstanding tight end, and he's not getting his props. And he probably won't get them because we've invested this, the Cowboys have invested this money in Martellus Bennett. And I like it. He's a good player. He's a good kid, and he has outstanding potential. But, man, I'm telling you, Tony Curtis deserves more respect. He deserves more playing time. As a matter of fact, last year when we had Fasano, another high draft pick, I felt like Fasano was still in time every time he was in there because that time should have went to Tony Curtis. I don't know why we continue to draft tight ends instead of being satisfied with what we got. There are so many other positions that need shoring up. For instance, backup quarterback. You think I want to see Brad Johnson play a whole game? Absolutely not. And I'm going to tell you something. I was excited when we got Brad Johnson because that meant we didn't have Drew Bledsoe or Vinny Testaverde, and both of them in the 50s now. But Brad Johnson just puts too much air up under the ball. It's too easy to intercept him, man. His ball's hanging there. The passes he throws hang in the air, and it allows defensive men able to time to get up under it and possibly intercept it on way too many occasions. He looks terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'm not comfortable with him as a backup, and I feel like that may be where we should have spent our money. Now, I know people say, nah, you don't want to get a guy that young pushing Tony Romo, but I think that's exactly what Tony Romo needs. He needs somebody to push him, and Brad Johnson ain't doing it. Now, Troy Aikman turned out to be a Hall of Fame quarterback, outstanding technician, outstanding field general. He did everything we asked him to do, pretty much. However, he had some competition. Now, Steve Walsh was taken in the supplemental draft, and that was the guy that Jimmy Johnson really liked, more so than Troy Aikman, if you ask me. And I think that pushed Troy. I think every position needs somebody to push him. And as much as I like Romo, I feel like he's a little too flippant with the ball, a little too lackadaisical back there. And I feel like maybe if he had somebody pushing him, I'll tell you what, we had Matt Moore on this roster, and we let him go last year. Matt Moore, I think, will be an outstanding quarterback in this league if he gets the opportunity. We have a couple of new guys now. We're going to look at them. The last preseason game is tonight, and we're going to look at these all these rookies and hope they can do something. Speaking of rookies, let's talk about Isaiah Stanback. Now, we got Isaiah Stanback last year, and I was very impressed with his reputation for being speedy. I hope we may be able to use him in a certain emergency quarterback situation, but that turned out not to be the case. And From the reports I've heard, you probably don't want him throwing the football. However, the man has outstanding speed, and I really look forward to seeing him on the football field. He continues to get injured, and he's not able to produce. Here recently, in the last preseason game we played against, it was the Texans. We played them for the Cowboys played the Texans for the Governor's Cup, and once again, Isaiah Stanback came up hurt, and he looked good. I mean, he had a kickoff return that may have been 40, 41 yards. He looked really good, but he fell on that shoulder, or got hit on that shoulder, the same one he had surgery on last year, and so he's out indefinitely now. And when we first got him, he had a foot injury, which stopped him from participating, and also stopped us from seeing his speed. So I'm really concerned with Isaiah Stanback. As a matter of fact, what I would want Stanback to do. Now, I know that this probably doesn't mean anything to you guys, but I was listening to Brad Sham call the game the other night, and it seemed to me like he called Isaiah Stanback Zeus. I hate to even use that term, forgive me, Z-E-U-S, because I try not to make mention of the names of any pagan gods. And if you remember correctly, I just told you on the last show that the Olympics are in honor of Zeus, and that's the reason why I really don't care too much about the Olympics. So, if this guy, Isaiah Stanback, is running around calling himself Zeus, then that may be the reason why he's not being successful. You're not Zeus. Get off of that. Let that Greco-Roman mythology stuff, just leave it alone. Your name is Isaiah. Do you know who Isaiah was? Isaiah was a great prophet. You have a wonderful Hebrew name, and you need to embrace that and live that and be that. You don't find some pagan god to call yourself when you've already been named by your mom and daddy a powerful man of the Creator whose name is Yah. If you look at Psalm 64 of the Bible, I don't want to bog us down with that sort of thing, but honestly, Isaiah Stanback, you have a wonderful name. You are Isaiah. Now live up to it. Quit trying to be Zeus. Get healthy and make some plays so you can help this team. I am Man-Law Man Rodney Blu. This is Point of Blue. And when we come back, we'll talk about some more stuff. Peace. Sometimes people ask me, say, Blue, how come you rock Starburys, man? I mean, you can wear any shoe you wanted to. Why do you pick those? And I tell them, well, it ain't because I'm cheap. It's because I cut for what Stephon is doing. But more importantly, Nike is the Greek goddess of victory. And I don't cut for no pagan gods. So now I ask you, why do you rock Starburys? All right, we are back on Point of Blue. I am Man-Law Man Rodney Blu, also known as Blue from the Grove. After a 3-year commitment, USA Basketball completes its mission. You can't put together an impromptu all-star team and just beat everybody. Guys need time to get on the same page. Guys got to face a little individual adversity in order to blend cohesively. And of course, one may argue that this team was never in a position to lose a game, but by individual adversity, I mean maybe you're having a bad shooting night, or the guy you're sticking is really taking it to you. Maybe the other team got more energy, whatever. Whatever the individual adversity may be, it's out of your hands, and you have to depend on your teammates. Like the gold medal game. The USA had Kobe, and Kobe has shown this past season that he's grown into a team player. And they needed him to do his thing in the fourth quarter, and he came through. That's a far cry from the skinny kid that threw up those air balls in the postseason not so long ago. Dwayne Wade and LeBron James both had 20 points each in the first half. It was a team effort, and they won the gold. You can't argue with that. Let's look around the NFL just a little bit. Osi Umenyiora for the Giants is out. Strahan was contacted and asked if he wanted to come back and play. Whatever. Matt Leinart benched in Arizona in favor of Kurt Warner. Hey, Matt, keep your helmet on because who knows how many licks old Kurt is going to be able to take. And I like Kurt, but he ain't Mr. Iron Man, if you know what I mean. G.E., Greg Ellis, Dallas Cowboys linebacker that ought to still be playing defensive end. Now, high pick from a couple of years ago, Anthony Spencer, is finally starting to look like a starter, according to Hard Knocks on HBO. And if that's the case, great, starting. Greg Ellis is a defensive end playing linebacker anyway, and he's great. Provides QB pressure immediately. Chris Haney was given his starting job, and let's see if he earns it. Ratliff is a playmaker, and he ought to be on that defensive line. And as I said before, I would love to see the Cowboys try to run a 4-3 every once in a while. This just in. One of my colleagues, Rio Reed, just texted me that PacMan has been reinstated. This is Point of Blue.